Everybody should buckle up as a new study calculates that the Earth's already rising temperature has spiked to a new level over the past 3 years.
Then it was gunsmoke. It was really on. So yeah, there was quite a good quantity of fish around. With the water chilling in the next couple of days, I think it's going to be even better.
There you go, buddy. Hit now!
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Green.
Hey, hello brothers and sisters of angling. We are back with another very interesting episode. The good, the bad, the ugly. The good up the north coast, the bad here and there at certain areas due to the water conditions, and the ugly with some of the water conditions being atrocious. However, in saying that, this is KZN and the anglers still managed to find the fish, and there were certain days that was absolutely phenomenal, brilliant, beautiful, gorgeous. You couldn't miss a fish, no matter which facet you were fishing. We are talking about the offshore side, right, where there was an array of species. You name the species, it came out offshore. You could name the species out at the north coast. So much species coming out. Michaela just rattled on about it, and it was absolutely brilliant. As for the south coast, well, there are some trying conditions down there. Adam is going to give us the full detail of what happened, what the water is like, and what you can expect if you persevere. So we're going to get into this week's show. And like I said, it's a really interesting one. You know, sit back, turn up the volume, get ready for it. We're going to get into the great details of it. But before we do, guys, huge shout out to our sponsors, the Kingfisher.
The Kingfisher are the leading fishing tackle specialist. We stock gear for every facet of fishing, from carp to cooter, marlin to trout. Basically, everything. We have stores across KZN, from Toti to Salt Rock, Durban to Pietermaritzburg. You can also find us online at kingfisher.co.za.
Thank you, the Kingfisher. Guys, the show could not be possible without the Kingfisher, and we are super grateful for the support and bringing the news to KZN. All right, so let's get into this week's show. Like I said, it's going to be an interesting one. We've got the good, the bad, the ugly. We've got some areas that were firing and some weren't. Now, what happened in Durban was a real mixed bag as well. So let's get into it with Mike V and Brad Krobler.
Hi guys, with all the warm water that's been on the beaches, it's been quite hard fishing. You've had to put in the hours and some time, but there was some good bite around. Like, guys got a couple diamonds, couple sandies, especially when the water chilled, then it was gunsmoke. It was really on. So yeah, there was quite a good quantity of fish around. With the water chilling in the next couple of days, I think it's going to be even better. The guys got sandies and diamonds, honeys, quite a load of grey sharks on the Durban North beaches. So yeah, going to have a throw on the beach when it's flat. Very well worth it at this moment. Paddle ski and ski boat side, there was quite a few snook caught, quite a lot of dorado caught. The guys got kuta. There was lots and lots of fish caught in the paddle skis and ski boats this weekend. The guys, wherever they launched from, was basically bite. Bad report from any launch site. In the bay, it's been a little bit quiet. After the rains, the gutters did come down a bit. That should produce some fish for us once it does settle. The grunters should come in to eat the shrimps and all that stuff. So yeah, let's hope it works. But there have been grunt in the bay, some nice specimens. I did see a picture of one of 5 kilos from Saturday night. Good load of keys in the bay on ultralight and artificial. Yeah, guys, enjoy. Have a good one. This is Mike V for NSA News.
Good morning, guys. Brad here from Linsky Fishing Charters. How's the fishing report for the ski boats off the Durban area over the last week? Guys, in the beginning of the week, there was some quite nice snook off the Blue Lagoon and all the way to Schlonga area. Quite a few of them, a couple of small kuta in amongst it. The problem when you do hook the kuta, yeah, the big tax man comes along and he eats it for you. Then we had the terrible thing, the rains came over and that turned the water pretty much muddy, so that put the snook and the fishing in the shallows pretty much out of play. On the bottom fishing side, the water, it's been very warm out there, 27, 28 degrees. So the fish are a bit slow, but yeah, you're still getting your general slingers, soldiers and rocker. On the game fish side, wasn't much action out in the deep. Couple of tuna, quite a few skipjacks, but no dorado, no marlin this last week. Guys, this is Brad for Angling News South Africa, and Brad says, beat you guys all next week.
Thank you, Mike and Brad. Okay, so we've got some species out in Durban. We've had those non-heads, and we've got some trying times out offshore. However, we have no doubt this week is going to be a lot more better as the weather conditions kind of settles with that rain. We just need that color line to come right, and we are in with the fish again. All right, so that's our Durban area. Now let's move on up to the North Coast where we are with Michaela Daniels. And guys, I got to tell you, the North Coast sounds like it's firing. Such an array of species. The fish are on the bite. The water is looking good. The conditions are looking great. Here's Michaela's full report of what's going on.
What's up, everyone? This is Michaela from Durban reporting for Angler News. Although things did slow down over the past week, for those who persevered, they certainly were rewarded. Starting with Blue Lagoon, there's been some lovely size shad coming out, as well as a few grunter, while Beechwood has still been producing some nice edibles and a couple of grunter too. Moving up to Virginia, there's still some shad and pompano coming out in the early mornings, while for longer anglers, the shad are still coming out here and there in the late afternoons, but it's mainly still been producing lots of sharks and rays. From floaty, the shad have slowed down a bit, but there's still plenty of scratching species coming out. While for the offshore side of things, Durban is still producing plenty snook and a couple of kuta. While for the bottoms, there's been some lovely rock hard reds and half cobs coming out. For floaty, however, there's been snook and kuta in the shallower bait marks, while the deep is still producing some big yellowfin tuna. For the bottoms, the guys are still getting into some lovely rock hard cob and a few yellowtail. Moving right up the coast to Belito, there's been plenty in edibles and a few shad coming out. While St. Lucia has slowed down a bit, there's been quite a few stumpies and sand sharks coming out. For the offshore side, Belito saw big dorado, yellowfin tuna, and wahoo come out over the past week, while the bottoms produced some lovely sized cob, rockcod, and yellowtail. And lastly, for St. Lucia, there's been some lovely sized snook, kuta, and yellowfin tuna coming out. That's going to be it for me for this week, guys. Tight lines and have a great one.
Thank you, Michaela. Certainly some big rewards coming out of the North Coast. I love it. It's looking good. It's looking good. All right, now, here's some interesting ones. We've got Jan from the Midlands, where we are talking about some pleasant conditions, some dam levels. He's talking about the rain impact, but more so, some of the fish that's on the bite. Here's Jan.
Hey there, guys. And Corabel here, reporting from Kingfisher in Pietermaritzburg. So, as the saying goes, from one extreme to the next, the change in weather from the furnace of 2 weeks ago up here to the current pleasantly mild conditions has been more than welcome. However, if the global weather gurus are anything to go by, there's a recent report that suggests that as a result of recent changes in weather, that everybody should buckle up, as a new study calculates that the Earth's already rising temperature has spiked to a new level over the past 3 years. It certainly felt like that I met 10 days ago up here. And what that's likely to mean is that there will be more weather events which will be considered La Nina, which mean higher rainfall, and fewer El Nino, which means drought for the Southern African region. Recent rains have put the dam levels back up, with almost all of our dams sitting at or on 100% full. And with Midmar, the wall is wet, and one more big rain and Midmar will come over. And with both Albert Falls and Spring Grove dams sitting at 100%. This bodes well for the coming winter. As we head deeper into autumn, weather should stabilize and we should be looking forward to some exciting. As for the rivers, there have been no returns from the Natal Fly Fishers Club river anglers over the past week, with reports that the Bushman's River beats were, quote-unquote, wild white water, and a 70mm local storm in the Dargle Valley on the weekend had the Gainey River completely blown out. With the rains having the most impact up in the catchment areas closer to Berg, all the mountain streams are also up in arms, and with the road and bridge access impacted into the Intersuti, the KwaZulu-Natal Fly Fishing Association had to move their trials of this past weekend up to the Leteni Valley, where conditions were somewhat more moderate, but still nicely technical, and with some good fish being reported. Lower downstream, the yellowfish or scaly anglers remain on the back foot, with high water levels and coloured rivers, that is. There were no returns from the Natal Fly Fishers Club stillwater anglers over the past week. Water temperatures are no doubt on the warm end of the scale for a happy trout, but with the cooler weather and rain, stillwater fishing should be on the up very shortly. With no reports incoming, the bass are on the quiet at Albert Falls. Midmar, however, is reportedly still fishing well, with some good numbers, but smallish fish in the 10-inch range. Carp and barbel have been reported from Albert Falls, and some carp at Midmar. With the weather having settled, Sterkfontein Dam is back in the game, and some good fish were reported over the last week. Hopper and cricket patterns in brown and black are still the top producers, but have some ant patterns on hand in case of an afternoon thunderstorm. Guys, do stop in the Kingfisher Pietermaritzburg for the best in tackle advice. And this is Jan reporting for Kingfisher and for Angler News South Africa.
Jan, you absolute legend. What a good, great detailed report. I love all those conditions and the dam levels that's going on right now. Such good insights about that. But more importantly, the fish that's on the bite. It looks like there is definitely a wide range of species to head up to the Bunlands and get. Now, guys, if that water conditions is looking a bit hectic on the offshore side, like we know, it's KZN. It's always something to catch, and we can head up there and make sure we get onto that fish. All right, so that's the Midlands. Let's head on back down to the South Coast, where it's not the best of conditions. It's not the best of fishing, but it is what it is, and it's a good, honest report coming out from Ray Thompson.
Due to the weather conditions that we've had, and it's been a few days of northeasterly, but not hard northeasterly, the water has been warm all the way from basically Durban all the way south, producing very, very few fish, including flatfish. And the flatfish that were around by Pennington, Scotland, and that seem to have moved out, apart from a few blacktip reef sharks. Edible wise, the water been very warm. Stone bream, and more stone bream. That's all that's been around as far as edibles go, and a couple of sand goods off of Ilovo River. Unfortunately, the shad seemed to have disappeared from our waters, but looking forward to the next couple of days, it is going to be absolutely epic. With the northeasterly that we've got coming forward, the water will get a lot colder. Guys, go out there, have some fun. The water will come right.
Thank you, Ray Thompson. Okay, so tough weather conditions, tough water conditions to fish in, but there is still some fish on the bite. We are talking about that bream and edibles. Nothing wrong with that. I can live with that, right? As long as there is some fish, there is some life out there. Now, another area down the South Coast, which is pretty tough, is Adam's report. All right, so he's been finding it hard, right? He's been finding it hard to find out what to report on. He had no idea what he was going to talk about this week. He was sending me water conditions looking chocolate brown down the South Coast. However, Adam is going to be one of the most positive guys around, and that's what I love about it. That's what I love about fishing. He's managed to find the anglers with the fish, and you know what? That's the beauty of our reporters in KZN. Here's Adam's report with what's been going on down the lower South Coast.
Good day, Vinesh. I hope you're doing well, my friend, and everyone so far has had a beautiful week. So things down in the South Coast haven't been that great, unfortunately. Look, things have definitely turned. It's been a bit sporadic and a bit sort of hit and miss and a bit weird down on the South Coast, Vinesh. I've just had some mates come back down from the sort of Transkei area. The water was absolutely warm. They didn't catch hardly any fish during a local comp. So yeah, definitely weird because the water seems to be different up this side of the coastline. We have green, brown and blue water. It does seem to be a bit warmer here and a couple of cold patches here and there. The guys have managed a small brush, one bream there, a couple of smaller non-heads biting here and there, guys in the boats, a wahoo, a snook. I mean, sporadic is the best word to use at this stage, Vinesh. I don't know what else more to say. Unfortunately, it is what it is. Our rivers are also fishing slightly okay at the moment. So I do believe that once the sort of warmer water slowly dissipates and the colder water comes through, the fish should start coming back on the bites. However, it's been just as weird as this weather. Rainy days, sunny days. That is just fishing, unfortunately, and that is the South Coast. But that being said, Vinesh, if any one of you guys are coming down to the South Coast this weekend, you know what? Just take a machine gun approach. Just, lay it all out there and just hit any patch of water that you can and just keep hitting it. There's been a bit of sort of small cobbies around, but again, there hasn't been massive numbers of them, Vinesh. At this stage, throw a shoe in the water because I'm sure something will bite it. I don't know, because I'm sure there's going to be a fish out there that is hungry. But otherwise, guys, stay safe, tight lines, and let's see those catches.
Adam, you absolute legend, even with those terrible water conditions, guys. And I tell you, it was terrible. He's been sending me images of the water the entire week saying, you know what, Vinesh, I don't know what we're going to report on because look at those water conditions. What's going on here? And it's obvious because of the storm, right? But still, he finds a way to remain positive. He still finds a way to find the fish from the anglers out there. That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of what I love about our reporters. They love what they do so much that they always find a way to keep us inspired, keep us motivated, and keep us looking for the next cast out there. All right, guys, so here's what's going on. It's month end. It's pay week. You know what? We've worked out hard the entire week. It's time to reap the rewards, the fruits of our labor. Let's go and kick back on the beach. Let's get a line out. You know what? Finding a fish is just a bonus. Right now, it's about chilling out and relaxing, and that's what this weekend is going to bring to us. So with that being said, until the next one.
This is the Angler News SA podcast. I'm Vanessa Green. Find more episodes at ecr.co.za under podcasts or your favorite podcast app. Let's fish for the future.